No, my Aunt Stella's passed away now, but if she were alive, I swear on her grave she'd remember this. So we were the last ones to see my grandfather alive, and we took him his favorite Greek dish, this kapama and a glass of red wine, and he kept saying in Greek, "Μην ξεχάσεις, μην ξεχάσεις, όλοι είναι σκουλίκια, όλοι είναι σκουλίκια. Don't forget, everybody's a worm. Everybody's a worm." And then that night he died. And, the next morning we, had to go do all the preparation. And then on Sunday, I go put him in his grave. And my aunt, my uncle's wife, slated, married into our family. She, for the wake, for the, the party at their house after we put him in his grave, she prepared this traditional Greek pasta soup called uvetsi soup, and these are millionaires. She was so stingy. She opened this pack of pasta, and she saw there's a worm in it. And she said, "Oh, I'll just take that worm out." And she put the rest of the pasta in the soup, and she didn't think to check. Maybe if there's one worm, there's probably a lot more, or just throw that whole thing out and get another one. This is a very special moment. And so we came back from the cemetery, and my grandfather had 100 cop cars there, and the chief of police, and it's a very important person in Milwaukee. And so my aunt and I are talking to my uncle. Everybody's kind of hushed, and all of a sudden, the people who had gone to the table first to eat, it was very interesting. Not 48 hours later, all of a sudden, my aunt and I hear, "Skulikia, skulikia. There's worms in the soup." And I'm like, "Oh my God." And then we had to take my uncle aside and tell him the story. He's like, "Don't ever tell anybody this story." And I was like, "Oh my God." So it's like my family was kind of a cross between the Corleones and my big fat Greek wedding, and here was this worm scenario to prove it, Jeez, and it's kind of funny how the people who came to eat first were maybe the worms that my grandfather was talking about. And then the tradition, it was like us, whoever fits in the Don's shoes, Florsheim shoes, is the next Don or whatever. And I was 18 years old, long hair, hippie guy, and the shoes went around to everybody else, and kind of like Cinderella, I all of a sudden the shoes got to me, and I put them on, and they fit me, and I walked out of there with them on, and I never took them off until they fell off my feet.